Brought to you by Kellogg's, the folks who bring the best to you each morning. A wide choice of cereals in the forms you like best. Yours from Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now let's all play What's My Line?
And now let's meet our award-winning panel of What's My Line. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest panelist this evening is starting a new concert tour next Thursday night, and the lucky town that's going to get him is Idaho Falls, Idaho. The comedian is Shelley Berman.
Now a very, very lovely lady who will be appearing next Thursday in St. Louis at the Kiel Auditorium as guest narrator of the St. Louis Symphony under the direction of Skitch Henderson, Miss Arlene Francis.
Thank you. And now our most literate Easter bunny who has a litter of bestsellers, Random House's Bennett Cerf.
And here's the grand old man of television panel moderators, John Charles Pop Daly.
As you doubtless have all seen, Bennett is bubbling tonight. And I don't know why I should suffer it all alone. He asked me if I'd heard about the man who had vinegar in his ears. And I said no, and he said he had pickled hearing. You shamed?
Not a bit.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. Needless to say, we're up to our old tricks. We have some very nice people who brought some interesting occupations. With these occupations, it's our plan to puzzle the panel, particularly Bennett. And we'll also have a famous mystery guest before the panel a bit later in the program. We'll meet our first challenger. And now let's meet our first challenger. Would you enter and sign in, please? Lois Matona. Is that right? I must compliment you first on that, what is it? I'm trying to think. Blackboard handwriting. If I could write as well as that on the blackboard, I'd probably still be a student. They threw me out. Is it Miss or Mrs. Matona? Miss Matona, where are you from, ma'am?
I'm from Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Cheyenne, Wyoming. Well,
Yes.
It's nice to have you with us. May I present the panel? Miss Matona, will you join me over here now, please? Do you know how we keep score, Miss Matona?
Yes, I do.
All right, then let's let the audience in the theater and those who are viewing at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Miss Matonen is salaried and deals in a service. And I think we should begin the general questioning with our guest panelist tonight, Shelley Berman.
Swell. In the practice of your service, do you come into physical contact with anybody?
Yes.
Would you...
Small question.
Dubious about the physical contact.
Shelley, we want to be completely fair and to be sure that you're not misled in any way in the context of the question as you asked it. I want to offer some further explanation. The answer is no. That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Craven.
Do people ever watch you in your work, Miss Matonen?
Sometimes.
Do you work indoors?
Yes.
Do you work in a place other than a store or a shop?
Yes.
Is it a large place?
Yes.
Are there other people doing the same kind of work that you do
Yes.
in this place? Does it require physical dexterity?
No. 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
I think Arlene was thinking about the same thing I did. The circus, weren't you?
That's
yeah. Can we rule out show business, Miss Patonin?
Yes.
Well. Do you do your work? Could you do the work that you do in Cheyenne as well as someplace else?
Yes.
Do you do it in Cheyenne?
Yes.
It could be done in New York or Washington or Chicago. Do you ever wear any costume other than ordinary day clothes or evening clothes for the job that you do?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Miss Matona, do you by any chance work for a non-profit-making organization?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with the government in Washington?
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with the presidential family?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Berman.
You don't have anything to do then. Would I be correct in assuming that you have nothing to do with the Secret Service?
No.
Yes, you would be correct.
That's right.
Yes, I would be correct. That's about it. Would I be correct in assuming that you're not a G lady?
That's right.
Is your the work that you do state work, or is it state work? Work for a state as opposed to federal?
No.
That's 5 down and 5 to go, Miss Francis.
You work for the federal government?
Yes.
Does your work require a diploma from college?
Yes.
Well, now let me say here, I think that we have to let you have the yes, because in, I think, the majority of instances, we would have to accept, the great majority of instances, the diploma would be there. This is not to say that somebody without a college diploma could not, through their personal hard work, achieve the status. Would you agree to that?
Yes.
What did he say?
I don't know, but I think it was beautiful, don't you? Well, I mean, now I don't know whether may I ask whether you have anything to do with the judiciary branch of the government?
No.
That makes it 6 down
You
and
have
4
to have a
go.
diploma for that, John.
Yes.
It could be a
Depends on what you do.
No, you could be a court clerk or a messenger or something like that. Yeah.
You work for the government in Cheyenne, we would determine. You do not work for the Judiciary Department. You do not wear a uniform of any kind. Have you got anything to do with money?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, as part of your work, I know we all get a few miserable dollars for the work that we do, but I didn't mean that. I meant that...
Wait a minute, Bennett, please. Not now. Pickled herring. Oh, heavenly day. I would say it's a fair assumption that as a matter of normal experience in the work that Miss Matonin does, that certainly finances might play a part, but this is, you know, a very broad area.
With this being a rather unpleasant time of year, would you have anything to do with taxes?
Yes.
Don't tell me that a lovely girl like you collects income taxes.
Miss Matonin is not only a, well, actually, I think the full name is a U.S. income tax agent, Bennett. So, since you said collector,
They make it
we'll
more
flip the rest of the
painless
card.
in Wyoming, anyway.
But Miss Matonin has been responsible in the Cheyenne district, together with her colleagues, for such excellence in the work standards that they've achieved, in which they maintain that it's one of the, I think, prize districts in the country, is it not?
I think so.
Well, see, there you are. We always have, you know, fun, I think, when we come to the whole subject of income tax. I've said this before, and I say it again, it's probably the most thankless job in the United States. And I am always amazed that you and your colleagues can do it with 1, such good grace, and 2, such good humor. But I want to warn everybody, the new collector of internal revenue, I'm told, now you correct me, when he was in college was one of the stars of the boxing world. So now if you don't pay your income tax, look out, Professor Kaplan may well put on the gloves with you. Thank you very much for being our guest. It's nice to have had you with us, and hope you come back to What's My Line another time. All right, panel, a good beginning. Let's see what we can do with the second challenger. Will you enter and sign in, please? Wade S. Page. Right, sir? Mr. Page, where are you from?
I'm from Asheboro, North Carolina.
Asheboro, North Carolina. Nice
Yes.
to have you with us. May I present the panel, Mr. Page?
You do?
You join me over here. Do you know how we keep score, Mr. Page?
Yes.
Fine, then let's let the audience here and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mr. Page is salaried, that he deals in a product, and we'll begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Mr. Page, is this a product that I might use?
Yes.
Is it a product that's found in the home?
Sometimes, yes.
Is it a product I could hold in my hand?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Page, is this a product that grows rather than being manufactured?
No, it is manufactured.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Is it as big as a piano?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Berman.
I'll bet it's smaller than a piano.
Right.
I just thought of that. You say that it might be found in the home. Would it be found also outside of the home? I mean, in an exterior rather than an interior.
Well, actually, it can be used both places.
It can be used outside.
Yes, I think
Yes.
it would be fair to say here that Mr. Page and I both know of its use outside of the confines of the room of a house or the rooms in a building.
I wish you wouldn't talk to me, John. You get me all mixed up. I was going along swell with a lawnmower there, and now I'm finished. Would you find this thing that you manufacture, that you deal with, would you find it in an office building?
Yes, you could.
Would you find it in use in an office?
I can think of an office myself, you know, just offhand where it's put to use.
Would you find it in a specific office, a special kind of office?
What did you have in mind, Mr. Berman?
Well, for example, a doctor's office or a dentist's office.
Well, I think, if I may, Mr. Page, I think we have to say here that it's not within the compass of our knowledge of the medical or dental profession to say that you would not find it in any dental or medical office. We can only say to you, it is possible that you could find it in a medical or dental
Does
office.
this product have moving parts?
No.
That makes it 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Berman. Miss Francis.
Does it have any metal components?
Yes, a few.
Is it something that has to do with... No. Could you get into it?
Yes.
In a manner of speaking, yes, I would say so.
Yeah. Is it something other than a bed?
Yes.
If you got into it, would you stand up in it?
At least I wouldn't, Mr. Page.
Wouldn't think so.
That's 5 down and... Wait a minute here. Did I flip 2 then? 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Page, would this object that you manufacture have anything to do with a person's health or cleanliness?
Interesting question, don't you think? I think we would have to say here that it's not within our competence to answer technically the question that you've posed. However, it has been said, and in fact it has been written, that there is some application in one of those 2 areas with respect to this particular product. Tickled hearing, huh?
Mr. Page, if we can ignore Mr. Daly for a moment. Just you and I talk.
We don't know
Is
what you're
this
getting
product
into.
consumed? It is either eaten or smoked up or taken in the form of liquid? Does it ever disappear? Is it consumed? Burn?
Maybe it rusts.
I just say no.
No.
I just say no. 7 down and 3 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Now, Mr. Page, you have told Arlene that she might have one of these objects.
That I might get into it.
would you say that it would not be unusual or eccentric if I had one of these, too?
See nothing unusual, no.
Is it something other than a telephone booth?
Yes.
It wouldn't be sensible to stand up in it. Would it be sensible to sit down in it?
Yes.
Well, may I eliminate bathtubs?
Yes.
Since you hesitated on cleanliness. I pass.
So do I.
I didn't know Shelley was English. I think he just got your joke, Bennett. Miss Francis?
If you were in this, would it be a place that you would be in, preferably without your clothes on?
8 down and 2 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Page, would you move from one place to another in this thing?
9 down and 1 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Now, is there any... Is there any element of fun or entertainment connected with this product?
Is there any element of fun or entertainment connected with this product? I think we would have to say no to that. That would be 10 down. Thank goodness. Mr. Page is the vice president of the P&P Chair Company in Asheboro, North Carolina, which makes rocking chairs, and specifically made the rocking chair for President Kennedy. And since President Kennedy started using a rocking chair, you just can't make them fast enough, as I understand it.
That's right. It's really increased our business.
Can I ask you one serious question? Is there any particular rocking chair which is made or constructed specifically as a therapeutic aid, or is it just good old-fashioned? I belong to the Sitting and Rocking Club myself.
Well, actually, ours is just a good old-fashioned rocking.
Good old-fashioned rocking chair, and that's all you need.
Yes.
Send one to Bennett, will you? You get less grouchy then.
I like it.
Well, Mr. Page, it's a long time since we stuck the panel so completely. We thank you for it. Thank you for coming to visit us.
Thank you.
What's My Line. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, here is a word from us. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which the members of the panel, as you all know, are blindfolded. Are blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
All secure?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All right, will
sir.
you enter mystery challenger and sign in, please? Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You ask one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise. And we'll begin it, pardon me, with Bennett Cerf.
Well, after that deafening din, may I presume that you are a luminary in show business?
Yes.
Miss Kilgallen.
Do you make records?
Do you make records? No. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Berman.
You can't be a singer. You have a pretty rotten voice. Are you a singer?
What?
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you better known for your work in pictures than you are for your work in the theater?
Yes.
Mr. Cerf.
We haven't even established the sex of this whisperer yet. Are you a male whisperer?
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
When you appear in films, are you liable to dance?
I would say, Dorothy, if I may answer that, this would depend pretty much, you know, on what the kind of a film it was and what the book was.
Well, that eliminates a lot of actresses if you go that far.
Well, let me say this, that our guest required to dance would do it with utmost grace, charm, and excellence.
Thank you.
You ready for me yet?
Yep, Mr. Berman.
I'm going to take a very bold chance here because this person has a subtle, sibilant sound which is very familiar to me, and I'm going to take a crack at June Allyson.
That's right. That sudden sibilant sound there can give you away. I thought it.
You mean my
get
lisp?
No, did it? It's a whisper that even got.
I don't know how he knows a
tone.
whisper. There's more to this than meets the eye.
Well, to tell the truth, there's a hole in my mask. No, it's that S sound that strikes me very, very familiar. And that's about all I have to say.
Well, we do that sometimes. We shouldn't. Miss June, it's wonderful to have you with us again. I thought you'd get to the television program. That was going to trip us up on Monday nights on CBS. But you didn't. But you got
I think
Miss
the
June.
response now in our audience is to the television program, really. Don't you think so, too, June?
Yes,
They've all
I
seen
do.
you and loved you in that.
Listen to that S. Listen. Say yes again.
Yes.
And that wonderful husky tone, which is even lovelier. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you.
And come back and see us again.
I will.
Thank you, darling. Say good night to the family, will you? Well, I must admit, you've done very well so far tonight, panel. We'll have another contestant after this word from our alternates. Now will our next contestant enter and sign in, please? Right there. Louis Chu. Is that right, sir? Mr. Chu, where are you from?
Hollis, New York.
From Hollis, New York. That's right. May I present the panel? Would you join me over here, Mr. Chu? I will presume you know how we keep score. We'll let the audience at home and the audience here know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we're very short of time, but there's a special character here of identification. Let's see what you can do. We'll tell you that Mr. Chu is salaried, that he deals in a service, and we'll begin with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Mr. Chu, does your service have anything to do with children or animals?
It could be, yes, it could.
Does it have anything to do with their feeding?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Bennett.
I'll take a real quick guess. Do you raise Easter bunnies?
No, I do not.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Francis.
Is there something entertaining about what your work is, Mr. Chu?
Yes.
Would you be considered a performer?
Yes.
Do you wear a costume that would be immediately recognizable if we saw you in it?
No, I do not.
No.
3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Chu, have you ever worked for a circus or a sideshow?
No, I do not.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you work then in the theater?
No.
5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Berman.
Do you need physical dexterity for your work?
No.
6 down and 4 to go, Miss Francis.
Do you work in television?
No.
7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Cerf.
But you are in show business. That leaves the theater. Do you work in the...
May we have a conference? I think...
No, I'm sorry, Miss Dorothy, we run out of time. I think you were perhaps beginning to make your way to it. Actually, Mr. Chu is a disc jockey for a Chinese music program on WHOM-FM, and it's all done in Chinese and with Chinese music. More than that, he is a new author and has just written a book on Chinatown here in New York called Eat a Bowl of Tea, I believe, isn't it? Well, much good luck with your first effort as a writer, and congratulations. We're proud to have you in our profession. Nice to have you with us. Nice to have you with us. Now we've run out of time tonight, so I'm afraid, panel, I'll have to say good night for all of us. I thank you for the panel and for myself, and thank you very much for being with us on What's My Line?